Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for another episode of Being Creative. This one is going to be amazing. I have the wonderful, the lovely, the most talented person I have ever met, Leslie St. Julien here, okay? I am just so excited for you to hear what you have to say. So let's just tune in and I hope you guys enjoy this interview as much as I'm going to enjoy it. Hi, Leslie. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Aisha. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
It's long overdue.
Yeah, I know it is.
Thank you.
Leslie, I am just so excited because there's so much that I know about you and so much that I've learned. Guys, if you don't know, we met on a show on set, and she has so many amazing ideas and she's done so many things that I just want her to share her heart with you today. So Leslie, before we start everything, I just want you to tell the audience, people watching, where you're from and what it is that you do as a creative.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, thank you again for having me. Hi, everybody out there. Hi, all the creatives. Shout out. So my name is Leslie St. Julien, and I am from Brooklyn, New York. So this is New York City is my hometown. It's where I was born, bred, raised, became the woman that I am today. But I must say I was brought here by way of Haitian parents who immigrated here from Haiti. So shout out to my Haitian out there. I'm from Port-au-Prince, the capital. And so that's how this little being right here landed on this here big city, the city where dreams are made of, and everybody's supposedly, if you make it here, you can make it anywhere. So, where do I begin?
Tell us it all.
All right, so I am Leslie, but who is Leslie? Leslie is author, Leslie is poet, Leslie is writer, I am a full-time actress, I'm a creative, but first and foremost, I am the daughter of Yahweh, I am God's child, I am His and His only, and my heart and my footsteps, I walk to the beat of His drum. So that's who I am. I started in my creative path at a very young age. I'll let you, pick it out of me, but just to sum it up for everybody, at the age of 6 is when I first hit the stage ever doing something creative. And the creativity started for me in dance. So dance is my first background, and it's one of my loves. And that later transcended as I grew up. I took dance into theater. Theater became acting, and then acting on stage took me to film. And then that went on and on and on and on to where I am today. But in the background, while being a thespian, learning how to use my voice, I became stronger in that when I started using my pen. And not realizing that my pen was so much more powerful to the person I am today. What I'm most known for is my poetry and my writings. And so I started writing in middle school. Mm-hmm. And being from New York and growing up in the 80s and the 90s, that's the hip hop era of New York City. So I was around that culture. I started writing my first poems. They were rap battles. So that's my poetry, and that's when the door opened up for me. And as I got through, the city battles and the street battles and the block battles, I fell in love with writing more and more. But when I got to college is when I learned about creative writing and poetry a little bit more. And I turned my raps into songs of poems. And I left the rap scene. I could still drop a hot 16 though. Okay. But I left the rap scene and then I started writing poetry. So I didn't realize how early I was exposed to just a lot. And so someone asked me about my poetry and how, what inspired me and how I got, into that. So of course I told the story that I just mentioned with the rap turning into poetry and falling in love with creative writing in college. But I was reading Shel Silverstein. I was reading Dr. Seuss. You know, as a child, my parents gave me these books to read, and those were poems, you know, rhythmic poetry. And I said, you know, that's when it really started for me, my love for words and my love for rhythmic pattern. And so here I am. I write. I continue to write for myself. I've written for kids. And I could go on and on. So this is where I answer the question and stop and let you ask another question. So
thank you. That's beautiful.
But that's a little bit about who I am. Leslie, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm Haitian, and I do everything creative, from writing music, poetry, acting, anything that's on stage, anything that brings life to people and to draw people near. And I just hope that I just bring people near to God, because I'm His light, and that's all I'm here to do, is bring people closer to Him.
Amen. That was beautifully said, y'all.
I'm sorry.
No.
Did I mention I'm Leslie, long-winded Leslie?
No, that was
long-winded Leslie.
That was beautiful. So because you said that, first of all, I didn't know that you started off first in dance.
Yeah.
I thought it was something else. So my question to you, listening to all of this beautifulness that you said, is, do you think that, or do you feel that one gift helped towards the other gift make it better?
Oh, absolutely. Being able to get on stage and just perform was nerve-wracking, and overcoming that fear definitely helped me to, when I got to the point where I had to speak and now use my voice and remember lines in front of an audience. By the time I got to that age, I was comfortable with performing. And so dance was a great beginning, great entrance into this platform, into this industry that we both work in. And it made it a lot easier, because I had already been familiar with lights and cameras and applause, or, you know, and people staring at you. So by the time I got to the love for acting, I was ready. I was so ready. And for me, it was similar. It's like, instead of dancing, you know, I'm using my words instead of my body, but kind of use both now when you're acting, because there is some choreography to your movements on camera, and that you have to be cognizant of. So definitely, all the gifts help. Everything, and even the writing. The writing helps. The poetry helps with the acting, and the acting helps with performing on stage. And then performing on stage helped me to perform my poetry in front of people, being able to speak. And they all work together. Definitely.
All storytelling in different ways.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So my question, well, I have two questions. Now I'm going to go back, because
Oh.
anybody who loves dance, I just need to know, what kind of dance you were doing.
Oh, sure. So I started at the age of 6 doing classical ballet.
Okay.
And then when I got to age 16, that transitioned into toe. And I did toe, tap, and jazz all the way until I was 21. So I did dance from the age of 6 until about 21. And then when I got to college, which was like 19, I was still doing modern and jazz, but I got introduced to more cultural dance, West African dance, and where I took off my ballet shoes and I was grounded, with Mother Earth, and started dancing to the djembe drums, and that's where I really fell in love. And so with that in college, for all 4 years that I was in attendance, well, 5 years, I was on the 5-year plan. For the 5 years that I attended, I danced with the West African dance troupe called Dance Africa. Shout out to Dance Africa and DC Conqueror. And that helped me to reconnect with my roots, with my Haitian culture, as we have a form of dance in Haiti that's similar to West African dance. So the drumming and just like the cultural roots, which we call racine, musique racine, which is roots dance. Roots music. I definitely started doing that more. But again, all things helped because of my ballet training and my tap and my jazz. Like, I knew how to move my arms and I knew how to hold a pose. And so it all worked together, even though it's a different type of dance.
Yeah.
Everything that I did prepared me for my journey. Like, everything I've been doing up until this point has always been a preparation. Sometimes I didn't understand why I was doing certain things. Yeah. Or I just fell into it. Now, my parents, they put my sister and I in the arts. just to keep us occupied, to keep us safe, to keep us off the street. Growing up again in the 90s was a rough era. As well as it being the hip hop era, it was the era of crack cocaine on the rise, a lot of drugs on the streets. So it was dangerous. So it was just something, keep them busy, keep them safe. But she had no idea, my mother had no idea I would fall in love and that this was who I was born to be, a creative. My sister, it was time, she loved it as well, but not as much. She went a different path. But for me, it was, this is who I am. Oh my gosh, you've woken up this little being inside of me, this butterfly. And little did she know that I would want to take this to be my life path, because it is. So happy about it.
Thank you, Leslie's mom, for bringing her to the arts.
Yes, thank God.
So I have another question, because I know that we're speaking about being a creative, and I know this, but I want you to talk a little bit more about it for people who don't know. You did a music video. This whole concept for this music video.
Yes.
So I want you to talk about that in detail.
So right now my latest release is A Cup of Me, which is a poem and also the name of a collection of poetry that I published. And I decided to take one of the poems, A Cup of Me, specifically, and do a music video for the performance poetry. So what that means is I wanted to bring the poem to life beyond performing the words for you, on stage. I wanted to give a backdrop for the words that I was professing. And I took it back. A Cup of Me was born out of the year of the pandemic. That's when I wrote it. I drafted it before the world we were told to close. And I wrapped it up right in the middle of 2020, around the summer of 2020. And in New York, well, all over the world, we were dealing with the protests and I hate to bring it up, but all that just happened, the murders and the police brutality, and we were just George Floyd. It was just so heavy that year. I decided that I needed to add some more to this poem called A Cup of Me. And so visually, I said, there's so much pain, there's so much darkness going on. People are dying of coronavirus. People are sick. We're losing our family members. We're being told to shut in and stay home and not see the world. And then for us being creatives, that's really hard for us, to tell us to be still. We want to be busy all the time. So That was a challenge. So I decided I wanted to shoot the video, give a little mood music. I contacted a few producers, found one that I really liked, and shout out to Wave Sound Lab, Zapal Beats, that's my producer. And he came up with, this is now, he'd never worked with a poet before, never done this before. This is someone who does beats for rappers and artists and R&B singers. And so he said, I'll take the challenge. He wanted to hear the words first. He heard the words of the poem, and then he came up with the melody. And literally, I just performed it to give a vibe to my performance. And when I decided to make it alive by creating the video, I took it to a time where Blacks were at their best. So I took us to the 1920s. And for poets, this is the Harlem Renaissance. This is the rebirth. This is Langston Hughes. This is the beginning of when we are doing well. We were owning things. We were dressing nice. We were business owners. We were salon owners, restaurant owners. We wore suits. We went to parties. We performed. We were artists at our best. And so I took it to the 1920s, Harlem Renaissance, New York, to a speakeasy lounge. And for those who don't know what speakeasy lounge, this was an era where you had lounges that were kind of underground, secret places. A little moonshine might have been passed around, but these were places where Blacks would gather and really kick back and unwind and be our true selves. And so I did the 1920s fashion. I'm wearing the flapper dress look. I took it to where we were doing well. We were happy. We were good. We were talented, because that wasn't being shown. I was so tired of turning on the news and seeing, another protest, another store that got burnt down, because we're just so mad. So that's why I did a powerful piece about all of the things that make Leslie who she is. And these are the ingredients in my cup of me. Mm-hmm. And I challenge everybody to tell me what's in their cup. And I talk about everybody who had fallen, Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland, Freddie Gray, everybody, Emmett Till, Malcolm X, Christopher Wallace, everybody, Sean Bell, and they're all in my cup. And I'm at this lounge, though, in a good place. It's sad what happened to them, but we are a good people. And I wanted just everybody to be reminded of that. So that's how I came up with the concept for the video. We found a space to do it. We brought it to life. And I incorporated everything that is me, which was music, a little dance, a little singing. I know, it's like, what else does she do? I did a little singing. So the poetry is a little scatty, of that era, like Ella Fitzgerald, a little bit of Ma Rainey, little da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I like to scat. So those were my influences when it came to me walking into this poetry path. People like Nikki Giovanni, Maya Angelou, Gil Scott-Heron. He was a beat poet of the 70s, so he's one of my strongest influences. The revolution would not be televised. So that's with music. And every poet that I follow has recorded their work. And I wanted to definitely have it documented, not only in record and releasing the single, but I wanted a visual to be left behind so they could hear me and see me when I'm long gone.
I think that's so beautiful, and I think that what you came up with is inspiring people and still inspiring people. I watched it and I was just like, this is amazing.
Thank you.
Is that the poem that you're actually going to be doing for us, or?
Yes, that's one of them. Okay. So I have a little medley.
Okay. Can you tell us the names of it and what inspired you for these poems?
Sure. So I'm gonna intertwine 3 poems into one performance for you. The first piece I will do is called Yahweh. Mm-hmm. The second piece is called Words, and the third is A Cup of Me. Yahweh is inspired by God, tells you who I am and whose I am. And Words is inspired by my misuse of them. Because I am wordy, can you tell? I talk a lot. Sometimes in life, we say things that we don't mean in the heat of a moment. And I've had a few instances where I've released words into the atmosphere that I couldn't take back. So that poem was inspired by a moment that I couldn't take back. And I promised myself that I would take the time to appropriately arrange my thoughts before I release them, because time is our worst enemy. We can't get it back. And so Words is inspired by that. And then A Cup of Me is just going to solidify the whole thing. Who is Leslie? And that is it. Those are the 3 pieces.
All right. Well, everyone, let's give our hands a round of applause while you're at home, wherever you're at, and let's listen to these poems that Leslie is about to perform for us. I can't wait. I'm excited. That was powerful about her description of each and every one of them. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you.
All right, so let's watch Leslie as she performs.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Leslie St. Julien. But whose I am is the daughter of Yahweh. And He is the lamp to my feet and the orator of my speech, from whence my words come from. So I say I am merely a vessel being used to contain the water that you will cry out for one day to drink of. Because a day will come when you will have no one else to think of, and you will thirst for His holy hand at the blink of that moment when you've reached the end of your rope. Oh, you think I misspoke? Well, realize I've been delivered, sent to you, sent to you, sent to you after that heartfelt prayer that you so emotionally quivered. See, He heard your plea, so He sent me, Leslie. I am the daughter of Yahweh, and I will forever be His. But who is she? Who is she who is me? She speaks what her heart doesn't say, unable to translate the strings that are played as she hears what her spirit is dancing to, speaking a word of a blackbird, not willing to give up her secrets so freely, protecting her coat so dearly, keeping her soul warm, as not to allow the coldness of others who do not understand her bring her temperature below norm. But all is well with her. If she who is me, Leslie, stands her ground, having been knocked down time after time after time after time and walked on like the ground beneath her, but who would believe her or in her? So she believes in herself. Believing her morals, she tries to maintain the attitude of formal while her tongue releases words that are choral. These are emotions with meaning, an arrangement of gleaming, sounds and inflection. These words give projection while providing protection to the person on the receiving end. Who doesn't know what message this tongue might send? And then that unconscious moment when words become more than sounds to the ear and words and characters on a page. These words. Ladies and gentlemen, take a moment to pause and take a breath for final takes, making sure that every word out of your mouth is arranged appropriately to taste. Because it takes only a breath. It takes a breath to hurt someone by using the wrong words and a lifetime to get them to forget what they heard. So mentally observe your verbs because time is your lifetime enemy and that unrestricted moment is now recorded to memory. So these words do remember, and please return them to sender. So tell me what's in your cup. What do you drink out of? What gives you your strength? Let me tell you what's in a cup of me. It's filled with love. It's filled with hope. It's filled with faith, my cup of me. It's filled with joy. It's filled with laughter. It is filled with courage, my cup of me. It is served warm and never cold. It is made sweet and never bitter. It is bold and not weak. This is my cup of me. It has a fight within its bite, and its aroma cuts the stillness of any air. And in the base there is a root that never dies despite despair. I'll drink it now and more forever. It is the cup that sets me free. And only I can pour into it because it is a cup of me. Now I pour in blackness, I pour in pain, and I can taste the bloody stains every time my brother's being murdered and every time my sister's being slain. For every mother that has cried and every child that has died, I pour her tears into my cup, though I've never carried one inside. For all the fathers being taken and crying sons who cannot breathe, cannot breathe, cannot breathe, cannot breathe, and calling mama, I'm being murdered by a knee. When kneeling is a postured prayer, a position of respect, now a weapon used for death, now a cardiac arrest, now my cup is overflowing, there's no more room to add a drop. Now emotion of despair, now diluted by the cops. Make it stop. Make it stop. Freddie Gray, make it stop. George Floyd, make it stop. Breonna Taylor, make it stop. You could have been Sandra Bland, make it stop. Sean Bell, make it stop. Emmett Till, make it stop. Medgar Evers, make it stop. Dr. King, make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. What's in your cup?
Thank you so much, Leslie, for performing that for us. That was powerful. That was so beautiful, and I just can't. oh my gosh, I can't wait for whatever else you are doing.
Thank you so
And
much.
watching you, like you have this power and this elegance, and the way you deliver stuff is just so beautiful. So I wanted to ask you, from watching that, like, what is your creative process when it comes to writing?
It's an experience, an encounter. It's something very personal for me.
Mhm.
What started me writing, beyond just falling in love with the culture and the hip hop era that I fell in love with, and writing rap songs, even when I wrote rap songs, it was a response to something. It's always been a reaction. So my writing is therapeutic for me. It's where I pour into a pad or my keyboard, to release whatever I'm feeling. So it's usually my response to a situation that I've experienced, whether it be spiritually, with relationships with people, and or what I've witnessed. And I write, a lot of my writing is very similar. I do have a theme, and but I can write pretty much anything. But what I can write strongly about are the things that I have a strong opinion about or a response to. So my writing process starts with an idea, a subject matter, and then the title is the last thing that happens for the poem. And I start writing and I don't stop until it's completed. If I stop, I lose the moment, I lose the passion, I lose the fire, and it's very hard for me to pick back up again. So I try to write the idea out completely without stopping, without trying to make it perfect. I don't even think about rhyme or reason. And for many poets, we have different styles of poetry. We have poetry that has rhythmic poems, a rhythmic tune to it. We have poems that have meters, and we have poems that don't have any rhyme or reason at all. They're just thoughts. We have haikus that are 8 syllables, 7, 9, 8. Different 5, 6, 5. So there are just different styles of poetry. But I think when you can pour your heart out and they're personal thoughts of yours and you're willing to share them, it's all poetic. It's all poetic. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to have, style.
Can we say that again?
Can
you say it again so everybody can hear?
It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just poetic because it came from you. And you created it. So creatives out there, whatever you do is poetic. Your music, your acting, your craftiness. If you make things, if you're a designer, whatever it is that you build that came from your hands and your vision and your heart and your soul, it is poetic because that's your story. That's your mark that you're leaving. That's your jewel that you're dropping, your gem. It's your piece. It's a part of you that you're leaving for the world, whatever it is. So I don't try to make it perfect. Then when I'm done, I got everything out of me that I want to say about whatever the topic is or the moment is. Then I think about, okay, if I want to share this with the world and I want to perform it, let me perfect it. Then the perfect part comes in, but perfect too by anyone's own personal definition. It may not be perfect to you, but it'll be perfect to me when I say it's done. When I say it's done, then it's perfect. You may not like what I have to say or you may not agree, but it's going to be perfect to my eyes because he made me and he's perfect. So it's perfect.
All right. I feel like you answered my next question, but I'm going to try and ask another question, even though I feel like you answered that as well. What advice would you give someone who has writer's block or maybe like, man, I want to write this, but I'm just sitting at the computer or I'm sitting with my pen and paper.
Yeah.
Like, do you give them advice of, okay, just sit there, it will come to you? Or like, what would you do? Like,
yeah, well, I experience that all the time. I'm experiencing it now, actually. What I recommend is to quiet the mind, put it down, close the book, put away the pen, and go to a place inside of you that brings you joy, or go to the place that inspired you originally to even pick up the pen or the glue gun for whatever it is that you're about to create and you lost the fire. Go back to what ignited you the first time, and just try to go and stay in that place and remember why you're doing it. And ask yourself, why am I doing this? And try to answer that question. If you can answer that question, I promise you, you will pick back up and you will be able to release whatever it is that's inside of you. So just remember why you're doing it and how great you feel when you do what you love and you do it so well, and you're happy. Forget about feedback and likes or people giving you like, oh, that was nice. Like, that doesn't matter. Do it for you first. When you do it for you truly and honestly, whatever it is that you want to create, and you're so pleased with yourself, that means you've pleased God, who's the person who put this gift inside of you, and you know that it's going to touch somebody in a certain way, and then you've done your job. You will remember that. Just remember that why you're doing it, and answer that question for yourself, and I promise you, you'll get back to it. You just have to quiet the mind. We get distracted. A lot of things come in. Doubt comes into our mind, and we start questioning ourselves. And now don't go ask yourself, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? No, like, why am I doing this? I love it because I'm good, and it's okay to be confident. You must be, because I'm good, because it's that thing that I can't stop thinking about. It's the thing that won't allow me to sleep at night because I'm still thinking about it. Well, that means you're supposed to be doing it. It won't let go. It won't release from you. You may not know what to do. You may not have all the parts and the pieces, but you know that there's something that you should be doing. You don't know how to start it, but you want to do it. That's your thing. That's your gift. That's why you're here. That's your purpose.
I'm gonna say amen to that. You answered that question. I was about to say, could you tell the people an encouraging word? But Leslie's been given a lot of encouragement.
It's on your heart, it's on your mind. You keep thinking about it, and let me tell you, until you do something towards that thing that's burning inside of you, it'll never go away. That feeling will never go away. Mm-hmm. So even if you just tap into it just a little bit, you'll feel a little bit better.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leslie. Yes. This is what this channel is all about, y'all. Yeah. This encouragement. I hope y'all are just like as encouraged as I am. I told y'all, like, Leslie is, okay, this may be old school, but I still use it. She's the bomb.com. Okay. Thank you. So, Leslie, my last question for you is there any projects that you're working on right now? And is there any social media or websites that people can follow you so that they can continue encouraging you on your journey, and so that they can be inspired and encouraged as well?
Sure. Thank you so much. So I am working on a couple of different things. Are you surprised? So the baby for me this year that I want to put probably 99.9% of my energy and focus towards is the babies. So I do have a current book out called Brooklyn Stew, and that is a collection of rhythmic poetry for kids, and it's for the child and child at heart to read together. So parents or adults and child read together and bond. What I am working on is bringing that book to life, bringing that book to the stage as Brooklyn Stew, and also an animated series of rhythmic episodes. So working on that. And the third thing that's still part of Brooklyn Stew is I am going to perform the poems in my book, kid-like life, energy, family-friendly, and make those available on my YouTube channel. So where you can find out everything that I'm working on and keep up with all of my projects, the first place you can go to is, if you don't have social media, you can find me at lesliestjulien.com. And it's all spelled out, LesliestJulien.com. I am Leslie St. Julien on Instagram. I am Leslie St. Julien on Facebook. I am Leslie St. Julien on YouTube. You can find me at my full name, my full good old government name, anywhere. And my books and my music, A Cup of Me, is from an album. It's my freshman album called Situation. Keeping in the theme of what's in this cup, we are all in a situation when you come into a moment in your life where you have to stop and ponder and reflect and really absorb who it is that you are. And my album is called Situation. Check it out. It's a full album. You have 6 poems being performed to live music. You can find it anywhere that music is streaming. My books, I have 4. They're everywhere. Books are sold online. Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes and Noble, public libraries. When the Barnes and Nobles was open, I'm not sure if they're reopened yet since COVID, but you could go in and find my books on the shelf. Thank God for that. And I think that's about it. So social media is at Leslie St. Julien. Oh, but my children's book, it's on its own separate page. It's at Brooklyn Stew, and that's BROOKLYNSTEW at Brooklyn Stew. Please support that page. That page is for the children, for the lovers of kids, parents, big kids, little kids. That is my my baby, because that is where it started for me. That is where my walk started, my grooming started, and I believe we have to pour into these kids from very, very young so that they can branch out and be beautiful, positive people and contributors to this world. So I really want to invest into the youth because they're our future. And it's a cliche statement, but I will never die. The kids really, really are the future. The kids set the trends. They tell you what's cool and what's not cool. And so I work with them. I love talking to kids. I am also invitable. So please insert me into your programs. I will come and talk. Are you surprised? I will come and talk. I will come and talk about anything. And I love to inspire. And I just pray that, God's light touches you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leslie, for coming on and just being a part of Be Creative.
Thank you.
This has truly been a blessing to have you here and to hear the knowledge and encouragement that you have given and everything that you're doing. Everyone, please go support her. Please go and just see what she's doing, because she's doing so many amazing things that are just continuing to touch everyone's lives. And I could pray that this continues to touch your lives and that you share it with other people. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. We just thank you for constantly tuning in. Until